Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you have any question from last class? Anybody?
What's that?
So you see, last class we have discussed some operations on signals. Specifically, we have discussed time shifting and time scaling, these two, and then the addition of signals we are discussing. Okay. And in the last example, I had considered this one. Okay. So whenever you'll be having one constant value with a sinusoidal signal, then level is shifted. Okay, so this is the 2, and this 2 is the DC level, and sine 4 phi t is the sinusoidal signal that will fluctuate around 2 levels. Similarly, if we add 2 sinusoidal signals, then first of all we have to consider the dominant signal depending on the highest amplitude of the signals. Okay, so here in this case, the 5 is the amplitude for the first part. So this signal is the dominating signal, 5 sine 2 pi t. Its frequency is 1 hertz. Whereas the second component, its strength is only 0.1, but frequency is 5 hertz. So if we add these two signals, then what you'll do? So what you'll do first, we'll draw the dominating signal. So this black one is for your dominating 5 sine 2 pi t, and over this weak signal is added. So that fluctuation will get here over this 5 sine 2 pi t. So this red one is the resulting signal. Now, if we consider just opposite one, so if signal is like this, 0.1 sine 2 pi t plus 5 sine 10 pi t. Now in this case, again, this one is the dominating signal. Okay, and this is a fluctuation. So some minor change. So if it is absent, first term is absent, then you will get purely 5 sine 10 pi t. Now this, what is happening? Now how to draw? Suppose if I draw this one, so first one is okay, this amplitude is 0.1. So this side is a minus 0.1. This is for your 10, sorry. (0.1 sine 2 pi t). This is the signal. Okay. So this axis is time t. Now, the second signal, if you want to draw, so within this is the one time period, and its frequency is 1 hertz. And second signal, its frequency is 5 hertz. So this is 1 hertz signal, and this one is 5 hertz signal. So it's implied that when it will complete one, it will have one complete cycle. So in that time, it should have 5 cycles. Because this is 1 second. In 1 second, it will complete one cycle. That's how it is 1 hertz. Now within the 1 second, so I can say it is a 1 second. So same, in 1 second, I should have 5 cycles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can have these kind of signals. Okay. Like this. So it will continue this side as well. So this is your amplitude is 5. This is minus 5. So 5 sine 10 pi t. This one. Now, if you are going to add these two, then what you will get? So can you guess, anybody? What would be the safe? Anybody can make any comment? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So can you guess what could be the safe if we add these two signals together? So second signal, dominant signal, is having a constant magnitude, amplitude, that is 5. So this peak value is always at 5 level. Is it correct? Now when this signal is added, so suppose at this instant, so it is having some value. So that value will be added with this one. So its peak value is shifted little bit. Similarly here at this peak is shifted little bit by this amount. This much modification will be there. And here, suppose it's almost nil, it's not there. At this instant, this is the shift. It is subtracted little bit. And this one is also subtracted. Right? So what we can do? So about this 5, above this 5, so if we can draw that signal, this time t, so this is suppose 5 level. And there, so this is 1 second. Very small only amplitude. Okay. So this is the signal over the 5. So you see when it will attain this 5 level, so its peak should be here. Resulting signal should have this peak here. Similarly, this peak should be here. And this one, its peak should be here. Okay. My drawing may not be proper. And this peak, it should be here. and this one should be here. Similarly, this one minimum one. So there also I can just draw. So again, I'll draw okay. Now the resulting signal can have this kind of shape. So here it is peak, here it is up to this, here it is this. Sorry. Is it correct? So some fluctuations. So you see this wave is undulating, okay, slowly with 1 hertz. Its top and bottom line. This is a little bit like this. So it signifies that the dominating signal is this one. It's the 5 hertz signal. But some fluctuations we are getting because of this weak signal and low frequency signal, only 1 hertz. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
No confusion, no? Now, now we'll go for next one. I think it is fourth. Multiplication of two signals. So if you wish to multiply two signals, what you get? Is it right? Now, one example, we can start with one example.
Sir,
Yeah,
what should be the equation of the upper means third question? 5 plus 0.1 sin 2 pi t.
yes, exactly.
Okay,
This
sir.
this one, this is nothing but 5 plus sine 0.1, sorry, 0.1 sine 2 pi t. That is the this one. And similarly, this one is again, but its value is -5. So -5 plus sine 2 pi t.
Okay, sir.
Is right? So this signal is fluctuating within these two walls. It's okay? Because when it's
Yes, sir.
the original dominant signal is having maximum value 5, then this is only added. That's how the peak value will touch to this signal. And bottom line, this one minimum one will touch this signal because the dominating signal will have that time -5 value. Sorry, this is again 0.1. Okay. So minimum will touch to this line and maximum will touch to this line. And in between it will fluctuate with the frequency, the 5 hertz. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this type of waveform you will get when a desired signal, a high frequency desired signal is contaminated with low frequency signal and a low frequency, low amplitude signals. Then some undulation you will get like this, like a ECG signal. Sometimes you will get this kind of undulation. Okay, so we'll try to remove this one. Suppose in signal processing, this is one desired ECG signal, some desired component, but this is not desired at all, but it is added. How to remove this part? So actually we are getting this kind of resulting signal, red one, but we wish to get if this is this desired signal, so we have to remove this fluctuation. So we'll be discussing that one later, how to remove this first component from this resulting signal so that we'll get a one desired signal. Using some filters, we can remove. Okay, so those will be discussed in detail later. So that is the signal processing concept. Now, we used to multiply two signals. Suppose one signal is two or more, not only two. Suppose one RAM signal is T and UT. Okay, and with this, if you used to multiply sine omega naught T, and suppose I'll multiply with UT, then what will happen? Okay. Now you notice that if this T is not there, then it is a pure sine wave. Okay. Now this amplitude is varying with respect to this parameter T. So what we'll do? First, we will draw this RAM signal. This is the RAM signal. T, U, T. Now, the sine omega t is the sinusoidal. So when its maximum value is 1, that time this xt value is nothing but t. It's okay. And when its value is, so I can write that time xt is nothing but t only. And when sine omega naught t equals to -1, that is the minimum value it can attain. And that time xt is nothing but minus t. Okay, so I'm considering this thing of only for t more than 0. Okay, because this is ut. Left side is 0. This side there is nothing. Okay, so this is your plus t. So can I draw minus t? So minus t, this is your negative sign. The positive, it's corresponding negative, so it's a mirror image with respect to t-axis. So this is minus t ut. So now sinusoidal signal will fluctuate with respect to these two walls. So easily we can draw. It's like this. Okay. So this is a growing sinusoidal. The amplitude is growing over time. Okay. Is it clear? So this is called this one is called envelope. Envelope of this resulting signal, because this is the boundary we can draw, then we can draw the sinusoidal signals. Okay. Very similar way. So any confusion, please? You have any confusion?
So can you please explain once again the envelope part?
Envelope is the maximum. So when the sinusoidal signal will attain the maximum value, then the positive envelope, it will touch to the positive envelope. And when sine omega naught t will have its minimum value, that is -1, then it will touch the minimum, this negative envelope. So this is your positive envelope and this is your negative envelope. Okay. So envelope means this is the maximum value. When it will attain the maximum value, it will touch this line, this card. And when it will attain the minimum value, it will touch to this card. So joining line of this peak, positive peak or negative peak values, those values are nothing but envelopes. Okay. I think it will be more clear. So if we consider this, so suppose x3 equals to 2 plus so it's 0.1 sine 2 pi t, and this is multiplied with sine 20 pi t. And suppose this is both sides. No, it is multiplied. So can you draw this signal? Now the first component, this one, I can draw separately. Then I can multiply this one. So this is the higher frequencies. Its frequency is 10 hertz. And this frequency is only 1 hertz. I hope you understand. Because sine 2 pi ft, f is 1. Here 2 pi into 10t. So f equal to 10. Okay, and this is your DC level. So this signal, so when basically this is a higher frequency signal, 10 hertz signal, but it's a, this is behaving as an amplitude. This is the amplitude of this sine signal we may consider. Okay, so what is the envelope? So first we can draw the envelope. It's okay. Now this is your 2 level. Is it okay? This 2 plus, so we may consider okay. Now what will happen? So when it will attain this maximum value, it can touch to this one. It's fine. And what is this? So one thing you should notice these things. So this value, if it is suppose something yt, some part yt, okay. So it is minus of that one. So it's negative. This is your positive envelope. Be careful. This is your positive envelope. So negative envelope we have to draw. That is the mirror image of this one. Okay. So don't draw with this -2 plus this one. So it's mirror image we need to consider. Okay. This is your negative envelope. That means this equation is 2 plus 0.1 sine. So this is also there. This side there. Okay. I am not drawing. Sorry, 2 pi t. And its equation is minus sine of 2 plus 0.1 sine of 2 pi t. Is it correct? Because this is multiplied. Don't be confused with addition. Okay. Now resulting signal we can draw. So you see, this is your, sorry, this one. So one time period, that is for 1 hertz. So within this, you should have 10 hertz signal, means 10 complete cycles should be there within 1 second. So resulting signal could be like this. So I am drawing it roughly. Remember, there should be 10 cycles. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, whatever it is. Okay, there should be 10. It will continue that way. You should touch. Have you got the concept? Yes.
Why did we take a negative envelope as a mirror image?
Can you please repeat again, because I can't hear you properly.
Sir, could you please explain why did we take a negative envelope as a mirror image again?
Yeah. So what I am saying here in this case? Suppose any signal, sorry, any signal xt, the product of these two, suppose one function a of t with sine omega naught t. Okay. Now this xt is nothing but equals to at plus at when sine omega naught t equals to maximum value. And this is nothing but minus at a of t when sine of omega naught t equals to -1. Am I correct? So when this value is +1, then +1 is multiplied, you will get plus at only. And when its value is -1, then its xt is nothing but minus at. In other words, what we can say, when sine omega naught t will attain the maximum value, then resulting signal will touch to this a of t only. No? And when sine of omega naught t is having minimum -1 value, and that time the xt is nothing but -80, it's implied that xt will touch to this minus of 80. So one envelope, this is one envelope. So when it is maximum value, it will touch to this function. And when it is minimum value -1, it will touch to minus of 80. So one is plus of 80, one of minus of 80. So plus of 80 we'll be calling it positive envelope, and minus of 80 is the negative envelope, which is nothing but mirror image. Because one positive and negative, those are mirror image. Anything, any point, if I consider, so it is 5. And if I say -5 will be here. If it is 3 here, -3 will be here. So if I have these points like this, so its corresponding negative components will look like this. So this is the positive, and its corresponding negative is this one. So if it is a of t, and this could be a of t, but with negative sign, minus sign. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank
Got
you.
it?
Yes.
So be careful about the last example I had given for addition. Now here it is different. Why? Because here we are going to add these two components. So when this is having positive peak, is maximum value, then it is 5. And that time value will be 5 plus 0.1 sine 2 pi t. Okay. It's a 5 plus. So its point is upper envelope is nothing but 5 plus 0.1 sine 2 pi t. And when it will have -1, means -5, -5 again plus 0.1 sine 2 pi t. That's how. So this upper one is 5 plus 0.1 sine 2 pi t, and it is -5 plus 0.1 sine 2 pi t. So this is not exactly minus of this one. It's not mirror image. Okay. It is because of addition, and there it is multiplication. I think you can think more about these two. And in communication, indeed, this type of this is one kind of modulation. Okay. So in communication, what is happening? Our message signal, what we wish to send, that signal is having low frequency. Like, so in this example, 1 hertz is a low frequency. So low frequency signal cannot be transmitted to the channel atmosphere directly. Okay. So what we will do, we have to modulate that message signal such that it can travel through the channel. So we need one carrier, high frequency carrier, which will help us to transmit low frequency signal. So in communication, this is called modulating signal. Getting signal or message signal that we wish to send. And this high frequency signal is called carrier signal, by which we can send our modulating signal. And this resulting multiplication, this one is called modulated signal. Okay. So this modulated signal xt can travel to the channel efficiently. Okay, so this process is called modulation, and this equation is having particular one name. It is called amplitude modulation. Okay, so what is the amplitude modulation? Amplitude AM modulator block. If I have a message signal, suppose sine of 0.1, sine of 2 pi t, that is a message signal. Now we need to convert it to a high frequency one. So this is a low frequency. Message signal. This should be, so this one we have considered. With this, one carrier is multiplied like 20 pi t. Okay, so this kind of frequency is not used, so I can consider 2 into 10 to the power 3, that is better. And here 20 into 10 to the power 3. So it is 1 kilohertz signal. It is called 1 kilohertz. And in this case, it is 20 kilohertz. Okay. And this is 1 kilohertz message signal. So it is low frequency and this is high frequency. Modulated signal. So you see signal processing, this concept is directly applicable for communication. The modulation scheme is nothing but one kind of signal operation. We need to convert a low frequency message signal to high frequency modulated signal so that it can travel through the channel efficiently. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any question, please? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead and speak loudly, please. Any question?
No, sir.
No? Okay. We'll continue this one. So I'll give you one more example. This signal is also useful frequently, especially in signal processing and communication. If xt is like this, sine of pi t over pi t. Okay. So can you draw this signal? So is it possible to draw the signal? Again, you see this one, we may consider in this form 1 upon pi t multiplied with sine of pi t. Okay. Or pi ft, that also f not t. That also you can consider. So just for example, I am considering f equal to 1. It's okay. So can you draw this one? So 1 upon pi t, it will behave as an envelope because this is multiplied with sine phi t. So first I need to draw one upon pi t. So who can draw 1 upon pi t? So in this example, this is nothing but your envelope a of t equals to 1 upon pi t. So can you draw? What is this function?
Hyperbola type.
Hyperbola?
Sir.
That's correct. So you see at t equal to 0, its value is infinite. And as t is increasing, its value is reducing. Okay. So positive side, I may consider that this could be the envelope. It's going down gradually. Then it will become 0. And this side it is going towards infinity. So this is for positive t. For negative t, this one, so it will be negative value of this one only. So initially it will be -1 and then it should go 0. Am I correct? This is your 1 upon pi t. Again, this is also same thing, 1 upon pi t. This side is for positive t, this is for negative t. Okay, now this is a positive envelope. Now what is a negative envelope? It's a mirror image of this positive envelope. If it is positive envelope, its corresponding mirror image should look like this. Okay, and its mirror image should look like this. So this green one, this 2 is -1 upon pi t. This is your negative envelope. Okay, these are same. Now you can draw easily this sine of pi t. Okay, now in this case there is one tricky thing. So can you tell me what is the value at t equal to 0 xt? What is the x of 0? Can you tell me? Anybody?
So 0.
How?
1.
Sine omega t is 0. But what is this
So
value? This value is infinite.
Tending to 1.
Is 1. How you have got this one?
Limit.
Limit, exactly. Because this is in 0 by infinity form. 0 by 0 form. That is, it's a 0 by 0 form. Because at t equal to 0, sine omega t is 0. And t equal to 0, 1 pi t is also 0. So at t equal to 0, it is 0 by 0. So 0 by 0 form, here you have to take L-Hospital theorem. Then you can find the limiting case. So limit t tends to 0 xt. So you should take derivative of this one, cos pi t, and pi will be there. Again, this derivative will be only pi will cancel out, and then you can put 0 and you will get its value is 1. That is exactly correct. So at t equal to 0, its value will start from 1. Okay, I'll draw with red one. So this is 1 level. And then this sign value is decreasing. Okay, so it should have minimum value here, it should touch to this one, then again should touch this one, touch this one, like this. Okay, similarly this side. Clear? So this x of t is commonly used in communication. It is called sync function. So when time will come, will be discussed in detail. Especially in this course also it will be discussed in detail while we'll be discussing the sampling theorem. Okay, to convert a continuous signal to a discrete time domain signal. There the sampling theorem will be discussed and we need to use this kind of sync function. It will come into picture. Okay, we'll be discussing in detail. So any question please? No? So we'll go ahead because time is, we're taking too much time. Now we'll move to the next one. Different type of signals we are discussing. One we can define this way: even and odd signals. So any signal, even signal, it will be called an even signal. Suppose XET, I'll put a suffix E. This is even signal. If its negative side, x of minus t, and its positive side, x of plus t, if both are same is exactly same, negative side and positive side both same, then only it will be called even signal. Okay, this is one. And second one example. Suppose if I consider this is one right side signal, by 1 it will become 0, this is 0, and its amplitude is 1. So obviously left hand side should look same. At minus 1 it should become again 0, left side. So this signal is even signal. If you flip this signal with respect to y-axis, means folding. I've told you that this is xc of minus t. It is nothing but folding with respect to y-axis. So positive will become negative, negative will become positive. Then also if it remains the same, then it is called even signal. Okay. Second one, a odd signal, on the other hand, suppose I'll denote by x naught t. It's an odd signal. Is defined in that way. If its negative side, if you take a flip with respect to y-axis, then the entire signal is multiplied by negative sign. Okay, the magnitude is reversed. Then only it is called a odd signal. Now take one example. Okay. Now, if I consider this is the right side part, so that one, this one, this is maximum peak 1. Okay. And negative side should be this side minus 1. This is your xt, x not t. Sorry, x, yeah, x not t. Now, can you draw the corresponding folded signal? No, just this one. Time reverse x naught of minus t. What is that? It is a folding. So negative side will come to the positive side, positive will come to negative side. That's all. So this shape will get this side. Okay, this one. And this negative side shape now will come to positive side, but amplitude will remain here. Now, just you see, every time this x naught t, its value is negative of this one. So when it is negative, now it is positive. It's just opposite, but same is exactly same. When it is positive, now this is negative. So this value is nothing but negative of above 1 x naught t. Okay. And one thing it should be sure that for any odd signal, x naught t at t equal to 0, it should be what? Anybody can tell me? If I consider an odd signal, what is the value at t equal to 0?
0.
It is always 0. Because otherwise they cannot be negative to each others. So at t equal to 0 means it is x of 0. This is also x of 0. And it's opposite. So it should be 0. Is it correct? But this is not the case for even signal. Even signals are at t equal to 0, x is 0, x is 0. It's same. So it can have any value. There's no restriction for even signal at t equal to 0. But for odd signal, it should pass through the origin at t equal to 0. It should be. Okay. Fine. Now, here we will claim one thing, that any signal xt can be decomposed. So we can decompose xt by two components, and one component is the even component and other one is the odd component. It's possible to decompose any signal xt by these two parts. Okay, this is our claim. And now you can see it is true for even and odd signal. If it is a xt is even signal, then obviously x naught t is not available. It is 0. So only this will be there. And if basically it is an odd signal, this odd component will be there. Even part is not there. That's fine. But if it is neither even nor odd signal, any arbitrary signal, then I can have these two separate components. So one is for even, other one is for odd. Okay. Now question is how to extract these two. Can I find these two components from xt only? Is it possible? Okay. Now what we'll do? Now put replace t by minus t. Okay. In that case, what you'll get? Both sides. So left side will become x of minus t, and right side will become xc of minus t plus x naught of minus t, because this signal is true for all time. By time, negative time, every time, all time it is true. So now replace t by minus t. Now in that case, here, as it is an event signal, so it will remain same. It's only xc of t, xc of minus by definition. Okay, and this is the odd signal, odd part. So minus of t is nothing but related to minus of x naught of t. This is by definition of even and odd signal. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the equation number 1. Suppose this is equation number 2. You have got two equations. Now there are two unknowns, xct and x naught t, and xt is given. So we can extract xct. So how to get xct? Just adding these two together, 1 and 2. So x naught t will cancel. So left side will be addition of these two, and right side will be twice xct. So xct is very simple. It is nothing but half of addition of xt and x of minus t. Is it correct? And x naught t. Now if we subtract this will get, after subtracting 2 from 1, then what will get? This subtraction, x of t minus x of minus t. So this will be equal to twice of this one. So that 2 I'll take here, this half. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now I'll take one example. Suppose my signal is like this. So it is -1, it's +1, and this is suppose at 2, this is 1. Okay. The time t, this is your xt. Now can you find its even component and odd component? Now this signal is even or odd? Is it an even signal? No, because its right side part is not similar to left side part. It's not even signal. Again, it is not an odd signal because right side part and left side part is not opposite magnitude. Okay, so it is neither even nor odd right now. So how to get these two? So what we'll do? We'll try to obtain its folded one, x of minus t. So how to draw? So we can have a folding signal with respect to y-axis. So this is 1. So this -1 will come, this point will be here, +1, this +1, now it will go to -1 this side. So at +1 it is this 2, so its value is 2 here. And at this point it is 0. Now I can simply join. Is it correct? This is your x of minus t. Just a folding with respect to y-axis. Okay, its magnitude is again it is 2 and this is 1. Now if you add these two together, what you'll get? Every time you'll add it. So it is 2 plus 0. So just I am going to add it. So this is at -1, its value is 0 and its value is 2. So resulting value is 2 only. Now it is reducing a little bit and simultaneously it is increasing. And at this point it is 1, this is also 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Again at 0 it will be 2. At 1 this is 2 and this is 0. Again it is 2. So you see, every time if you add these two together, all time this addition of these two is nothing but 2. Okay, within -1, 2 plus 1. But we need to take half of that. So that's how its value should be 1. So that is your XET, which is nothing but half of xt plus x of minus t. And you see, this is an event signal. Indeed, with positive and negative, it's same. Okay. Now, what is the corresponding odd signal? Odd part. So we need to subtract x of minus t from xt. So it is at -1, it is 0. And we need to subtract 2 at this point. Okay. So resulting value will be 0 minus 2 is -2. So its value will be at this point is -2 here. And at this point, it is this one, this 2 minus 0 is 2. Okay. At this end, it should be 2. Fine. And at 0, at origin, both will have 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it should be 0. So I'll have a straight line like this. Okay. But this value is exactly 2, but I need to take half of that. That's how this amplitude will be calling it 1. And this will call it -1. This is -1. This is at +1 t. And this value is nothing but x naught of t, which is half of xt minus x of minus t. Is it correct? Any confusion, please? No? So do you have any confusion?
No, sir.
Also,
Good. Okay. So next, we can move to another type of signals. So signals could be defined as energy signal and another type, we'll call it power signal. Okay. So first of all, for any signal xt, so if xt is a signal and E is the energy. This energy signal, energy will consider capital E, and this power we'll call it capital P. So energy contained in the signal is defined by the integration of square of t for entire range. Okay. Fine. And suppose if I consider, what is the power of this one? Power could be defined. So you know the relation between energy and power. What is the relation between energy and power? Anybody? Anybody can make
Sir.
comment?
Rate of change of energy.
Rate of change of energy, right? Energy. So good. So energy per time is nothing but power. Okay. So if we can compute from minus t to plus t, what is the total energy content? That is nothing but x squared t and dt. Then if I take divide by total time width, I have considered 2t because minus t to plus t is total width is 2t. Then if we wish to compute entire range, then obviously we can go for limit t tends to infinity. Okay, basically this is your energy, you divide by time, we'll get a power. It is called average power. Okay, so this is the definition for energy and power of a signal. And now xt will be called as energy signal if E is finite. Okay, a signal will be called energy signal if its energy is finite. If you can find the energy within finite level, then obviously we can call it the energy signal. A particular value is there, energy. It's not infinite. Okay. Similarly, xt is called power signal if p is finite. If it is having some finite value of p, then we will get this energy. Sorry, we will call it power signal. Now here I want to mention one thing. If you study the signals, it's not necessary that the signal would be either energy signal or power signal. It's not like that. It could be that the signal is neither energy signal nor power signal. And you can also examine whether the signal could be both energy and power signal or not. Okay, that is your task. Now I'll give you one example. Suppose if I consider this one, this is 0, it is 2, and this is house 3. This is xt. Can you find its energy? What is the energy value? Energy is given by x squared t dt for entire range, minus infinity to infinity. And you see, signal is confined within 0 to 2 only. So limit I can reduce to 0 to 2. That's all. and within this region, this value is 3 only. So it is always 3. So 3 squared, and it is dt. So 3 square 9 outside, and dt is a constant. So it's with is 2. So we can multiply 9 into 2 is 18 unit. Okay, is it correct? And what is the power? Can you please tell me what is the power of the signal? Yes,
0.
4.5.
0, because the limit you will consider minus infinity to infinity, but energy is finite, 18 only. But if you divide by 2t, t is infinite. So 18 by infinity, it will become 0. So one thing, power signal, it will be called power signal if p is finite, other than it should be non-zero. Okay. And energy is always non-zero. Can any signal have any zero energy? It's not possible, because if you take square and if you add it, always you will get some positive value, unless xt is 0 always. No. So energy cannot be 0 other than for any real signal, but power could be 0. But 0, okay, is also finite, but I am saying that p is finite but non-zero. Then it is called power signal. So in this example, from here I can say this is energy signal. Okay. So can you make any comment? Can I make this thing that any time limited signal all time limited signals are called as energy signal. Is it correct? Okay. Because energy is finite and power will become 0, it's an energy signal. So next class we will be discussing few example for power signal, and we will show that time unlimited signal could be a power signal, but its power should be finite. It should not go to the infinity. And I'll show you some example for the signals which are not energy nor a power signal, neither energy or nor a power signal. Okay. So any question, please?
Sir, can you go up a little bit?
Yes. Which one?
Yes, this one, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you have written uh, xt arrow energy signal if E is finite. What do you mean by this line? If xt satisfy this condition, then it can be an energy signal, something like that.
Yeah, I am saying that if signal is having finite energy, then only it will be called as energy signal. Okay. But if it does not have finite energy, it going towards infinity. Suppose if I consider one example, a RAM signal. Okay. So what is the energy of this signal? Can you calculate? So it is t
Yes,
square.
sir.
So t square integration is t cube by 3. And
Hmm.
if you put infinity, so it's 0 to infinity. So it will become infinite. So
Yes.
its energy is infinity, infinite energy. So I cannot call it as a energy signal. So any
It can
signal
never be
xt,
energy.
yeah, got it?
It never can be an energy signal.
Which one?
RAM signal cannot be an energy signal. Do you mean
Exactly.
that?
The ramp is
Okay.
not an energy signal.
Okay. Similarly,
Okay.
power.
So it is neither a power signal. Okay. I'll discuss later. It may not be a power signal as well. Okay. So I have given a definition that the energy, if energy is finite, we can call it energy signal. If power is non-zero value but finite, then it is called a power signal. Okay. And both energy and power would be finite or not, that we need to see. Okay. I think it's contradictory. It's not possible. You'll check. But both are okay. There are certain signals which are neither energy nor power, like this one. RAM signal is neither energy nor a power signal. You can compute power and you'll see its power is also going towards infinity, because what is this? If I put t, it's a tq by 3. Now, if I put limit the 0 to minus t to plus t, what is the value? Value will be twice of tq by 3. Now, if you divide by 2t, now if you divide by 2t here, so 1t will cancel out and 2 cancel out. So it is t squared by 3. Sorry, yeah, t squared by 3. And if you put limit t tends to infinity, its value will become infinite. So E is infinite as well as power is also infinite. So it is neither energy signal nor a power signal.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So some signals are energy signal, some signals are power signal, and there are certain signals, those are neither energy nor a power signal. But one thing I can make comment, if it is an energy signal, then obviously the signal is bounded by time. It's time bounded, time limited signal. If it is going towards infinity, suppose if I consider this kind of thing, it is going towards infinity. So if you take square and go on adding, obviously you will get infinity. No? But if this value is going towards 0, time limited towards 0, then it can have a energy signal. So at t equal to infinity, if signal is having some value other than 0, it cannot be energy signal. Am I correct? Okay. So we'll be discussing more the next class.